Okay, the story of the fox and the grapes, one of the most popular fairy tales in English literature by Aesop. And let me just narrate it to you so that you could improve your English with the help of flashcards and new words and expressions. And remember, at LLB Society there are hundreds of stories, shorter stories and fairy tales. Okay. So, the fox and the grapes. One hot summer's day, a fox was strolling through an orchard till he came to a bunch of grapes, just ripening on a vine which had been trained over a lofty branch. So, let me just paraphrase it to you to make it easier. So, on a hot summer's day, a fox was strolling, means walking pleasurably, for fun, unhurriedly, through an orchard. An orchard is a piece of land enriched with fruits and nuts. So, till he came to a bunch of grapes, to a cluster of fruits here, grapes, just ripening. Very ripe, the opposite of ripe is raw and suitable for eating. On a vine. Vine is the grapes tree, which had been trained over a lofty branch. The words that are italicized actually come with synonyms and definitions. So the vine was directed to, trained here means directed to or aimed at a lofty or tall branch. So he said, "Just the thing to quench my thirst," quoth he. He refers to the fox, and quoth means said in Old English. So he said, "This is the perfect thing to satisfy my thirst." Quench means satisfy. Let me show it to you. Yeah, it means to satisfy your thirst. So that was something I needed. Drawing back a few paces, he took a run and jumped, and just missed the bunch. So, drawing back means recoiling and wincing back to just he moved backward a few paces in order to prepare himself to make a jump. He took a run and jumped and just missed the bunch. He couldn't reach for the bunch of grapes. Turning round again with a 1, 2, 3, he jumped up, but with no greater success. So it means that he tried again and again to just jump and reach for the bunch of grapes, but he did not succeed in that. 1, 2, 3, he jumped up and with no greater success. Again and again he tried after the tempting morsel, but at last had to give it up. Again and again means over and over. He tried after the tempting means satisfying morsel. Morsel means, as you can see, a very small piece of something, especially food. But at last means finally had to give it up, means abandon, quit, and walked away with his nose in the air. And it's a proverb or expression. It means to show that you do not to pretend that you don't like or need something, and in a haughty way. And he said, "I'm sure they are sour." So that's where the proverb sour grapes originated, actually. "I'm sure they are sour." It means the grapes are sour and not eatable. And the quotation is, it's easy to despise what you cannot get. Despise, as you can see here in this photo, means to feel a strong dislike for someone or something because you think they are bad or worthless. Alright, some new words and expressions, and in the body actually they were italicized, so let's focus on them. Number 1, stroll means to walk in a slow and unhurried manner. Number 2, orchard. And remember, at LLB Society, if you click on any word or select it, the website will just read it out to you to improve your listening comprehension and practice listening. So, orchard is an area of land on which fruit or nut trees are grown abundantly, means in abundance. Number 3, a bunch of means a cluster of fruits growing on a stem. Number 4, ripening means ripe and suitable for eating or harvesting. Number 5, trained. Here, do you remember that the vine was trained? It means aimed at, means intended for or designed for or used for something special, and pointed to, directed to art. Number 6, lofty is very tall or high. Number 7, couth means said, it's Old English. Number 8, tempting means causing craving to arise in someone or stimulating. Number 9, at last means finally or eventually, ultimately. And number 10, give up means to quit or abandon. Yes, there are over 2,200 illustrated flashcards at LLB Society, and whenever they are used in the body of the lessons, they show up to you. So to have one's nose in the air means to act haughtily and arrogantly, be disdainful. And about the origin of this interesting fairy tale of the fox and the grapes, this paragraph has been extracted from Wikipedia. So the fox and the grapes is one of the Aesop's fables. The narration is concise, means brief, and subsequent retellings. Subsequent means future or later. Retellings have often been equally so, concise and very short, succinct. The story concerns a fox that tries to eat grapes from a vine but cannot reach them. Rather than means instead of, admit defeat. Remember, after rather than, you should not use a gerund, as it has been put correctly here. Admit defeat or eat humble pie. Eat humble pie. He states they are undesirable. The fox says that they are not really interesting to me, and they do not just arouse my desire. The expression sour grapes originated from this fable. And let's see what sour grapes means. It means if you describe someone's attitude as sour grapes, so you mean that they are angry because they have not got or achieved something that they wanted. Okay, so there are two questions here for our online classes for the students to consider before the class. Number 1, what is your point of view or viewpoint about this type of rationalization or justification? So the fox just rationalized that he did not need them, the grapes, but in fact this is not true. Number 2, do you guess that the fox is saying sour grapes with just a pretext or excuse, to evade, To evade means to avoid or escape from someone or something. The burden, to evade the burden of getting their grapes, burden means load, responsibility. So do you think that the fox just said that in order to evade the responsibility of making further attempt to get the grapes? And let me show you some related short stories and fairy tales here. At the bottom of the lesson, you see related lessons. And here the fairy tale of the town mouse and the country mouse, and also another fairy tale, the ants and the grasshopper, and the short story The Beggar by Anton Chekhov. Okay, so in order to access hundreds of English fairy tales, short stories with podcasts and illustrated flashcards and comment forms to leave your text or even voice messages for our teachers to respond, you just need to visit our website at lelb.net. Thank you very much for your attention and take care of yourself. I hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.